Okay, I was playing Tom earlier at the game. He was talking about Tom just about won. So the game has 12 text fragment cards, and the idea of the game is to get all 12 cards first, and you pick them up, whatever order you pick them up in, and then as the winner you get to read them. And there's a different poem every time, so there's, well, I wouldn't say infinite. I suppose somebody could work it out. I'm not sure how many different variations of the text there is, but quite a lot. And there are also 12 forfeit cards in the game, which will ask you to do things like phone your parents and tell them you've been arrested for murder, or throw the TV out the window, this kind of thing. So I'm just going to read these text fragment cards in the order that Tom picks them up. I wonder if you could take this for me, and I took it for her. And as we were about to land in the city, but magic though, take note, it does not exist any more than a bullet caught between teeth. And the leaves fall silently, the brown ones yes, the yellow ones no. A reminder of the strings about a person, when it, in pencils and face, with each exit an epitaph surfaces. Though running for a bus was not planned, it certainly became part of our conversation. One of our go-to places for words, if I ain't mistaken. To put all this in a bowl seems a shame. Surely the shove is a fixed, come to push. The force retells biography, often a crippling truth that without knowing casts greater than learnt. Sarah can even the better, but what for the how or to wait? Some answer as we plan to go to the birds, the cars, irregular oxygen, static rain, the head of an organisation. They tell everyone they have no memory or enamel left on their teeth. So to say exactly what, becoming something to remember is a length of rope, swapped for a tongue in a hand. All that residual energy could have been used to power a plane. I'm sure I read something about that not long ago. Though it too could have been lost in the calories, chewed up movement. You can only plan around it, not for it, and it's an act of the imagination. You only ever go where you are. Like all budget holidays, it's a replacement of the senses. To drink is maybe too much for the body. The shapes come in and replace it with New York as the plane boarded. We kept on spelling the words to correct one another, to null the forget, and everyone looked so serious. The shapes of utter signal in the houses can't be proved or human because of the numbers. It's these loyal sub-particulars of language, never without cause. For these that the standard shoulder they take. Telling that to someone is an archaic, in-blanket discretion, under veil or atoned by for reason. The appointment stopped playing out the inevitable life. But for commonplace artefacts we learnt to rote. Would say it's definite, but examining facial tics, or the conversation we never had in the eggs, the emphasis on plastic forks. There is more protein in the cutlery, and we achieve, in a sense, the positive. I add up the digits of your phone number, subtract the way it appears, which is determined genetically. There is moisture on your hair from the rain, and I will not leave yet because we are counting. The remainders of people rearrange sentences, dialing up poached vaccines for the colours and... So I'll read next from this Red Ceilings book. It's called All My Pornography, which is a collection of like really old poems of mine that kept hanging around on various hard drives. I wasn't quite ready to delete them all. I thought I'd put them all together and try not to be too embarrassed about them. It's a bit like if your parents discover your porn stash or something. That's what it's called, All My Pornography. So I'm going to read a few poems from this. All those sounds sitting in white, desperate for hands to uncover them. Dead roots, rotten trunks, all of it damp and unusable. We slip on rocks, land on wishbones, as kindling we never expected reduces us to the diminished seventh chord of an oak tree. We make a pile of dry branches and carry them back to my room, trapped in the old Russian paintingness of it all, where a cat strikes its claws on the chair. You pile them up, throw in egg boxes, cardboard, pages from magazines. I don't know what century I'm in. Sometimes the year is 1877. I stare at it, all those wasted calories turn into ash as cars move closely to silence on the motorway behind the woods, and the texture of oils touches my hands. It is yours, and you are walking through the still wet grass, leaving the birds to write history with my fingers. Even though we are lost, we huddle up in bed, watching the black smoke expire. It misbehaves, eternally unspelt in imaginary rivers of grit, where time ripples an act of constancy. You bare teeth and witness, record a terrible song in the grooves of a well-worn path that leads you to eyes worthy of photography and blacklisted paintings hung from the neck of a person you once became, whose hooks offer nothing but a solitary nail through the wrist that pins you loosely to the brittle surface of movement. It is not possible to be trapped in you, never and always divisible. Lakes form at your feet, they evaporate, rain down parts of yesterday, sections of tomorrow. A lightning rod burst from a cloud. Those seconds pass, they also distill and wrap themselves into shapes you perceive as the grey man in your sock drawer. He leaves your room when you sleep to build hours you'll never remember, hours you'll never witness, hours you can't receive through the aerials strapped to your head. Yet you know they're out there somewhere, though you seldom feel them, more likely to end up with a broken finger because of it, or drink yourself to sleep in the back of a taxi, for all their fanged apparitions that transport somehow the flow of its poisoned blood through your veins to a blue rose in the mouth that fails to open. The birds have gone, the leaves turn to poems in the trees, and the shadow world of last night's bottle returns, as though screaming through a letterbox played by a set of false teeth. They fall around me, brown and brittle, ancient writing took by wind. Familiar strangers want them, and chase down the street to the beginning of opera those secret words we spoke. Light breaks through the branches of last night's pill, and the darkness cast on the floor is not mine. It is ink spilled from a notebook monster's head, a puddle of volumes, an imprint of sound. There's a player piano inside you, from where the red-jacketed Dorothy girls of yesterday's blackout kick their heels and return home to the imagined whispers of music, a score written for night sweats, performed upon springs, in that occult dread of imagined voices, cold as a body in the ground, and dumb feathers bear down, expressing the solitary noise of unconscious drivel that permeates silence. Give that to us at least, a noise to break us, a blue dribble of winter down the back of a coat. Let rain fill the cracked glasses outside, so the tap no longer whistles, you're no longer here to moan, and the fits in the drawer that I brought home 2 nights ago bend and play the music of saws, and its water, loud as the ocean where I left my muddy boots one winter, rocks back and forth like the consonants on our lips not ready to speak. I give you a dock leaf for that nettle, for hairs rubbed up the wrong way against my face. I wait for you for what you might bring home, that we might lie another day, a month here in bastard cold, searching for switches to turn back on. This is the last poem. Smile silence, that golden ratio, ration to all but in pleasure. Voxhaven, tip pages left in the gallows, I want for her bloody thumbs, all week executed for trespassing Grey's lips, cochineal blur, eviscerating lucid cramp hammers, dye synthetically as mild mid-morning blue. She puts lead in my milk. An ultrasound headache for dayburn negatives sweeps past charcoal estates, whiff of from space, array creates senses, delete, deplete video, build gamma stations, turn spiders inside out and drove their skins like shopping trolleys through goose flesh. I walk up to the option box and create chemistry, human cake and defence shadows. I am bored of the lake, I want tobacco. Where is the oxide? Break it up into idiots. For day wanks out of us a glue, not confused with love this notion, nor with hate, it is bestial at most. Dampons rag weak, to us it follows, this yard is bugger, it types its tremoloed conspicuous wonder, this heart's neat fire where dance its ghost stick snapping. Less than doves you reflect me, window, take up the blurs of motion, I watch fibres increase in the carpet as paper unfolds in my stomach. Those semiconductors are skeleton veils in the biscuits. Vessel is what word made it. Culpable little lab, that baby. It's you collaborating with chink nuts. Melodies, open chuck-ups. Peeling orange Van Dykes. Over to lexicon. Move into Bang Bang. Take back what they said. Free them and thereby their concepts from all but total distortion. Word curse. Better than zero gizzarding nightmare. Not volleybird, they skyrocket, zoom over arable land, curse word, limping zodiac cuppers, her bitten teeth, oh take my canines away, drown lame horses in my mouth. So there were some old poems, I thought I'd bring some new bits. So that last poem I read, I got a couple of copies of that and I shredded it. And then I put fragments of that text into some pill capsules. So I'm going to give you all one of these, and you can take them. And if you feel like being somebody else for a while, you can take this, and you can go into my mind as it was when I wrote that poem for a short period of time, if you'd like to. So
down the rabbit hole again, then, Stephen.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Here we go. Feel free to have them now if you want. I'll keep them for later. All right, thanks.
Cheers, Steve.
Thank you.